we had a meeting with the church representatives and all the stakeholders, means the tribal organizations, civil society organizations, and the student bodies. And our meeting by and large was very cordial, and we have shared our mind on government side relating to Nagaland Liqueur Total Prohibition Act. And in return, I am very happy today the various organizations and including the churches have come forward a very frank and pragmatic. Yes, during the course of interaction, there were also views which may differ from one another, but it was a very cordial consultative meeting.
What was the voice of the majority?
Yes, everybody says if total prohibition implementation is a failure, all gave two options. One is if there is any scope to revisit the Nagaland Liqueur Total Prohibition Act, it should be reviewed with the present time and implement effectively. That was one option. But taking into considerations the ill effects of adulterate drinks, spurious drinks, and the problem facing from the hands of bootleggers or syndicate supplier of alcohols, anti-social elements, which are many. They also of the view that if at all government so takes any decision, it should not be partial lifting, but total lifting. But today we have not discussed anything on whether it be partial or total lifting. In fact, I also have attended this meeting as a special invitee by virtue that I am the advisor assigned to assist the Chief Minister of Nagaland for Excise Department. So I also made it as my moral responsibility and duty to share my minds on behalf of the government and also to talk, keeping to account the social issues, social evils that are confronting our society. So based on that we had discussion. And eventually or finally, the Committee on Total Prohibition will have to make a study. Today I'm happy many had submitted a written statement on top of their presentation. So the Committee on Total Prohibition, we will examine all those, we'll make a further study, and they will submit their findings and recommendation to the government. The process will continue.
If I'm not mistaken, the government had earlier formed a committee for review of this act. So what happened to the report of this committee?
It's like this. After many cases of drinking spurious and adulterate drinks, especially by the younger generations, our youth, and when there was no mass initiative or support coming from the stakeholders. When I say stakeholders, I mean the NGOs or the students community, or even for that matter from the church side. Then with the illegal inflow of spurious and adulterate drinks being consumed by our younger generation, government felt it necessary that a committee on prohibition has to be constituted. This was first constituted in 2018, somewhere there. Then the committee was by then headed by Additional Chief Secretary. And the committee had 2 sittings. And as per the terms and reference of the committee was to examine into all health issues that is confronting our people. Second was to do a research on the consumption of liquor in all the towns in the state. And the third reference was to study the income generation of the state in comparison with the other neighboring northeastern states. So after 2 sittings, they have gone on their job. So Health and Family Welfare Department with Food Safety Authority, they have also examined the quality of the alcohol. And today, even in the meeting, a report was given. So out of 30 odd samples collected, about 28 were found to be adulterated. So this is the quality of drinks made available in Nagaland, illegally also. And the revenue aspect and other management of the department was presented by the Excise Department. So these are the things. And some people or organizers are very allergic to when we talk about revenue generation. But for all you know, Nagaland being a financial resource state, let any organizer talk about ill about that. Definitely, we need to generate revenue. So also we have to provide more employment avenue. And earlier, Excise Department was a revenue collection department. But with the introduction of total prohibition, the department just became a regulatory body. So this is how we get. So I know church also, they are very much concerned about the health of our people, including the spiritual health, the spiritual wellness. And government as a welfare government, we are very much concerned about our people relating to overall development, infrastructural development. We are concerned about livelihood, economy of our people. We are also very much concerned about employment, which Nagaland, I think, has a very high number of unemployed youth. So, even for the government, collection of revenue is also equally important, because all these things are for the welfare of the people. So government, unlike the church, we cannot be just for one specific purpose. We have everything, and it is a welfare government. All these are taken into account. So I think whether the church, any civil organization, also should understand the government, because we are for the welfare of the people. See, I'll tell you, our prohibition came into force in 1990.
1989.
89 was the year of enactment of the Act. So pre-total prohibition, I think even annually we're getting about 5+ crores. But after imposition of total prohibition, through the collection of permit fees and in the form of levy duty and license fee, I think we are hardly collecting 2 to 3 lakhs in a year. Whereas a smaller states like Mizoram or even Meghalaya for that matter, they're collecting about almost 200 crores in a year. That is the figure. And yes, for Assam, it's a big state with big population. They'll be collecting around 2,000+ crores in a year on excise duty. So that is where we are. Our assembly we have a separate cell for that. We call it Business Advisory Committee. So in the Business Advisory Committee, Nagaland legislature, they will decide. So at this juncture, I'm in no position to mention.
Sir, after decades of this act being implemented, what were the loopholes or problems that the government could not, strictly implement this act in the state?
See, there are a lot of blame on the excise department or on government. And today also in a meeting I have told them, it is not that the department has not done anything. The department has done a lot of things. And this, I'm not just saying for the sake of saying, but every day in local newspaper you are saying how many seizures have been done on IMFL, Indian foreign made liquors, to the extent of even drugs, narcotics, and many have been also arrested, booked, prosecuted. So it runs to many thousands of cases, be it beer, be it whiskey or rum. But I do admit, even in the meeting I said, we are doing, but we have not been doing satisfactorily. And this total prohibition, I would frankly say it was done at the behest of the church and supported by the Mothers Association and other NGOs. So government also in return, we expected that all the various platforms will also play their role. We are not directly telling that they should act like the excise department or the Nagaland police. But gradually, in due course of time, that kind of initiative or support or that people's movement, which would have been very good for implementation of this prohibition. So gradually, it has not failed in total, but we could not achieve the desired result.
Sir, we know that only the smaller fishers are getting caught, smaller fishers. And trucks and truckloads of, IMFL, they are, getting passed right under the nose of the excise. So how is that happening?
No, I would disagree to that. Truckloads of Indian foreign made liquors also been seized. But yes, I also agree. Small time business, retail outlets also been caught. So we have on our records, time to time you are seeing on the local newspapers. So all the categories are caught.
Sir, basing on to this meeting, what is the general consensus of the people?
No, that's right. Today we have heard the NGOs, the church and others, and we are very happy. As requested, they also, in addition to whatever they have to say, they have submitted a written statement. So now the committee will go into those papers. They will study and committee will apply its mind and what will be best for our people, that will be taken to account. And in the process, the committee will submit its findings and recommendation to the board.
So how stipulated time given to that?
How long might it take?
Time frame?
Yes.
As early as possible.
It's been going on.
Yes, yes.
No.
So will this happen this time
The
again?
government giving
No,
the
that may not
CSOs
be
that
true in all the cases. Even today, I'm happy. Our NGOs, our tribal organizations, gradually we're also coming to understanding what is what. So many of them they have said, enactment of the act also government has the power. That you have done. Even today, if government so decides to take any action, Government can do. But please keep in mind the best interest of the people and for whom you serve. So that way we're happy with your broad outlook. That sprung up. There are nightlives and many of our youngsters, they go to drink and many call centers have come up and it's very sad to say, but nightlife goes on and even the question of flesh trade has already come in. So when you talk only about liquor or drinking liquor, it may sound not to be a very big issue. But from liquor leading to spurious, then cost effective, then mustering up of liquor stores, then the young boys and girls visiting those booze joints, and indulging into so many unpleasant lifestyle. So this is what is wearing the world.